Minister, on behalf of the regional group, we certainly support the extension of this scheme as we see it very important, a very important scheme to provide liquidity and to soften costs on business owners. Also, as a payroll support, we see it helping to keep payments up on the social welfare contributions, which are very important for those who will be looking at pension entitlements later in life. On balance, I think the scheme is relatively straightforward, and that seems to be the reaction of a lot of business, though I would point out that revenue can already appear to be overbearing in terms of the process and the criteria. And we've heard already about some people applying to the scheme, but I would like to just say a word about a company who was 0.1% outside the threshold, having claimed it, where revenue came back and were looking for the full amount of monies that had been subsidised back. And I think that is not a way to treat businesses that are quite challenged at the moment. They wouldn't be looking for these schemes if they did not have liquidity and business problems. And I would ask that revenue would take a little bit more sympathetic approach to people in that situation. The EWSS is a support to payroll, but it doesn't support other business costs. And I think these have been spoken about before, but you can't just talk about softening payroll costs and ignore all the other costs that are building, particularly for businesses that are shut down at the present time. And I'm thinking of people who are still receiving bills for their rent, for leasing, for utilities and for insurance. And again, I think this is something government must do more about, and maybe we need to look at some supports if it's a case that we cannot soften the situation to some degree. There are a lot of people who are going to be coming back who are either in very reduced turnover, who are applying to this scheme, or who are maybe beneficiaries of the CRIS, and when they come back into full business mode, they are going to have very significant liabilities to face, and I think that is when we are going to need the full weight of the state supports to try and keep as many businesses vibrant and viable and keep as many people working as possible. One of the other things I think that the scheme has done is it has allowed employers to retain talent, and it shouldn't be forgotten that for a lot of people, once you take people into your business, there's a fair amount of time spent in training them up for the specific business that they're doing. So having this scheme in place has been very helpful in terms of securing and retaining talent until the business environment improves. But the other thing I would point out to the Minister, although he has left the chamber, is that the trajectory of the business return will not be a 90% straight-up line. After all of this, a lot of businesses are going to hiccup their way along, and potentially they will be outside getting advanced turnover. That will mean they can't get support from the EWSS, but turnover does not deliver profit. It's margin on turnover that delivers profit. And I think, again, this is going to become very apparent in the next 6 to 12 months as businesses look to see whether they are viable or not post-COVID and what their demand curve is going to be like. The other thing I would say is that there's going to be a weaning off process here, and once you give supports to business, particularly in these straitened times, you can't just come along at a particular month and decide we are cutting what may be very significant business supports. I think there has to be a period of downsizing, if you like, over a period of months, and business also needs to have transparency and visibility on what the intentions of revenue and what the intentions of government are here. So again, this is something I would be asking the Minister to have a look at, some graduated reduction to secure business viability and visibility. Some of the other supports that need to be coming along, and I know they've been mentioned in the House, and I would like to see them done in conjunction with this, is developments around examinership light and the extension of the CRIS. And there's a lot of service companies at the moment who are not getting the CRIS support, which is vital, and yet they have, as I say, these ongoing costs to pay of leasing and rent and all of that. So I think we need to have a stronger look at this. And just one other aspect with respect to these schemes is the warehousing of debt. And a lot of companies here who are availing of the Employment Wage Subsidy Scheme may also have availed of the warehousing of debt for VAT. But it's interesting that one of the taxes that they can't warehouse is corporation tax, and I don't know, maybe the Minister can again, or someone in his department, try and advise people why that is the case. And the other thing in respect of warehousing, a year after you warehouse your debt, if you have to come to a payment plan with revenue, the rate of interest that revenue are applying is about 8% per annum. and that is absolutely penal at a time when interest rates are negative for the state to borrow. So again, I think that the Minister has just some touching up to do, but on balance, yes, the scheme is very valuable. I think it is working well. As part of the regional group, we are delighted to see it extended, and as I say, we hope it will extend for quite a period and be graduated as it finishes.